Here we have two prime ribeye steaks. These are about 1.5 inches thick each. I have applied sea salt. These were actually frozen when I got them, so they're frozen now. I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator for about 24 hours and let them dry brine. Just covered one side of each steak in fresh ground sea salt. This is after 24 hours of dry brining, and I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder. And I'm gonna season both sides. These are pretty thick steaks, so I'm gonna be pretty liberal with the seasoning. And that's it for that bottle of garlic powder. So on this, the steak here to the right, on one of them, I'm just gonna add some rosemary. Not a lot, but just enough to give it a little bit of an additional flavor. And now I'm gonna bag them up and vacuum seal them. I almost forgot, I'm also gonna add some ground black pepper. I'm not gonna overdo it with the pepper, but yeah, I think they definitely do need some. Now, these steaks are a little bit frozen still. They were in the refrigerator. And this is gonna be, of course, this is kind of an experiment. We're gonna cook from frozen in the sous vide tank, but I thought they would have thawed out a little bit more than that, but they're still pretty firm, so. But anyway, they're prime. They should turn out to be really good regardless. Just a reminder that whenever you're bagging up your steaks or whatever it is that you're gonna be sealing, be sure to fold down the top of the bag so that you don't get anything on the sealing surface. I'm just using a basic Weston vacuum sealer, and I've unrolled the top of the bag so that the sealing surface is nice and clean. We've got the steak bagged up, and I'm gonna get this set in here and go ahead and seal it, and I'll show you what it looks like. Both of our beautiful prime ribeye steaks are sealed up here, seasoned, and ready to go in the tank. So I have a towel down here under the tank, and that is to protect the countertop surface, and we are set to 135 degrees. Now, we're gonna be cooking these for 24 hours at 135 degrees. Just press the play button on the Innova and let it start doing its thing. Our steaks are in the tank, fully submerged, and we're gonna leave these for 24 hours at 135 degrees. These will be cooked to medium. This sous vide tank actually came with a silicone lid that has a cutout recess here that fits perfect for the Innova. And I'll go ahead and make sure that the corners are down on this one. And now we are ready to just wait. 24 hours in the sous vide tank at 135 degrees. We're gonna save all the drippings here. We'll cut a corner off of the bag. And get it to separate here. Hold the steak. And we're gonna make a wonderful sauce with the drippings. set this to the side. We'll get a close-up of these steaks here in a minute. These prime ribeyes smell absolutely wonderful right now. They're not very pretty, but we'll take care of that. So up next, we'll be giving these steaks a nice crust with the propane torch on the grill. Okay, the propane torch is lit, and now we are going to sear these beautiful ribeyes. Yes, we added a pat of butter to each steak as well. The smell is just phenomenal. You hear the fat crackling. We hold the flame about 3 inches away from the steak so that we don't get a propane taste in the meat. We'll go around the edges a bit to make sure that we get this fat nice and crisped up. And we flipped over the steaks. We're getting the other side of them now. You see the fat start to sizzle. There's something about the smell of a ribeye steak searing that's just, it's like no other. At 135 degrees, these steaks should be cooked to a perfect medium. We'll see whenever we slice into them though. The best thing about cooking sous vide is the fact that it doesn't matter how long you cook the steak, it doesn't get any more done, it just becomes more tender. See the fat rendering. These will be done in just a minute and we'll cut into them. Now we'll cut into these ribeyes after they've rested for a bit and see how they look in. Oh my. This is so extremely tender. Look at the juice. Look at this. This is a perfect medium. Not overcooked, done to perfection with that beautiful sear on the outside. Man. I bet you just couldn't wait to get my meat in your mouth, could you? Steven, you gonna laugh? You gonna laugh? Camera guy loves my meat in his mouth.
Well,
my girlfriend will be home here pretty soon, and she can get some of my meat in her mouth as well.
I'm not gonna lie, it is delicious meat.
I mean, this is so, you know what? 24 hours of sous vide cooking on these may have been just a little bit much. I mean, these are so, you wouldn't believe the tenderness here. Give me just a second to finish carving this one up, and I will show on camera exactly how tender this really is. Yeah, go ahead. See how tender this is? I mean, it's literally almost fall apart tender at a perfect medium as well. 135 degrees, look at that. That is absolutely phenomenal. Oh my God. And the flavor. All right, Steven, you've got a piece of the, you've got a slice of that wonderful prime ribeye steak. And you also have there in your hand the red wine reduction that we made off camera whenever we were waiting for the steaks to rest. That was made with the drippings from the bags that we showed you earlier, and a dash of red wine and a pad of butter, all reduced down to almost a gravy type consistency. So go ahead and give us a reaction without it first.
Oh, okay.
Take a bite without it first. So how'd that dry brine go? Is the salt flavor overpowering? Or?
No, the dry brine is perfect. The flavor of the meat without the reduction is just perfect. But
go ahead and choke my meat down, Steven.
Well, had it been a bigger piece, I might have had problems.
All right, and I'll try with the reduction.
Now, the reduction is actually
makes a fantastic complimentary sauce, doesn't it?
Yes, it actually complements the flavor. It doesn't overpower it. You still get the flavor of the meat and the brine and everything, but you also get the reduction, and holy shit.
So we have, this is the steak, I needed to specify, this is the steak that we cooked with the rosemary on it. Now and that was just a dry brine and sea salt with garlic powder and rosemary and black pepper. The next one is minus the rosemary. So we'll go ahead and slice that one up and try it. This one had a little bit less fat marbling in it. It is just as tender as the other one. Still a prime grade ribeye. And you can see that's to a perfect medium. Let's go ahead and see how tender this is. Just as tender as the other one. I mean, just fall apart almost. And the flavor is fantastic. Okay, this is the steak without rosemary. You got that to a nice lean piece there. Is there any fat on that one, or?
Yeah, there's just a little bit there.
Just
on
a little bit there on the edge.
Yeah,
okay.
Right there on the very end.
So try Sous Vide without the sauce.
Mmm. Mmm. Damn.
Try Sous Vide with the sauce. Yeah, the sauce is just an enhancer to the steak. I mean, it's not necessary, but it is an enhancer.
Yes.
Are you having a moment?
Mm-hmm.
Is it magical? Is it meat magic?
Mm-hmm. The reduction with the non-rosemary steak is poo. Just poo.
It's good. It really kicks that flavor up a notch.
It does. I don't know what it is about the rosemary, but yes, it.
I think the one that we did with rosemary is a little bit better tasting steak.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
I like the one without the rosemary.
Okay.
So.
But so, have you had restaurant steaks like this before?
Yes, not like this. I've gone into, your main chains like Red Lobster,
where you can go get a good basic
Texas
steak.
Road. Yeah, I've gone to those.
I like Longhorn a lot better than any of those places, though. I think their steaks are a step above.
They are, but they're still like 3 steps below this. So it's like trying to pick the best loser.
Right.
In a competition, and
I've spent as much as, and I know that this isn't like top end or anything like that, but I mean I've spent as much as $100 on a steak dinner, and not had it be as good as this.
Something that I have noticed from like your higher end restaurants is that the money that you spend goes up, but the quality doesn't necessarily go up.
Not necessarily. There are some places. There's a couple places in Louisville that are supposed to be just fantastic. Ruth's Chris, I've eaten at Ruth's Chris before. Their steaks are really, really good.
Well, Louisville is currently experiencing some technical difficulties right now.
Right, Louisville's not the best place to.
So I will wait until
things calm down.
Yeah, I'm spending enough time down there with, all the other stuff I got going on. So yeah, I'm gonna wait.
So you'll just eat at home.
Yeah,
and we'll make meat magic.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so this is a piece of the steak with the rosemary, and I can tell this one. Oh no, I dropped a little piece of fat. But anyway, this one is definitely more tender than the one that we cooked without the rosemary, and the rosemary doesn't have anything to do with that. I think this one just had more fat marbling in it. Oh. Yes. Yes, absolutely. This is there's a little bit of that ribeye fat. The flavor of the fat with the charring is out of this world. And with the sauce, This is something like I've always had the opinion that you don't need to use any kind of steak sauce or anything like that with a steak, especially if it's cooked right. This steak is definitely cooked right to eat without any kind of sauce or anything like that. But the sauce is this sauce made from the drippings of the steaks is just an enhancer. It's not A1 or Heinz 57 or anything like that. I mean, this is as close to a true steak sauce as I think that you can probably get. You get a little bit of the sweetness from the red wine, and you get the flavors from the spices that the steaks were cooked with, and a little bit of that saltiness, and it just really kicks up the flavor of the steak. It's a great enhancer to the beefy flavor of the meat.
So what I'm hearing is that you like salty, beefy meat in your mouth.
Yes, I like meat in my mouth. So this is definitely meat magic. All right, so now I'm going to try a piece without the... Okay, this is the other steak that was cooked without the rosemary. Slightly thinner steak. It's still about an inch or so thick. And I'm going to try a bite without the sauce. Okay, so it is still very tender. And the flavor, it has a good strong beefy flavor. The salt brine is nowhere near being like an overpowering flavor or anything like that. But it did flavor the steak all the way through, because the steaks absorbed the salt absorbed into the steaks. And then I'm going to try a piece with the reduction sauce. And there's just an umami to this that it's not. I mean, I'm doing my best to describe it, but it's something that you would definitely have to experience in order to understand exactly what this sauce tastes like. I do prefer the steak that was cooked with the rosemary, because it was a little bit of, the steak itself, the meat was a little bit different, and it turned out being a little bit more tender, I think. Almost too tender. It's almost fall apart. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for more videos. We have more cooks coming in for you. I hope that you enjoyed the prime ribeye, sous vide and sear that we did. Soon we'll be making some burgers. We'll do a brisket, a corned beef. We have a lot of things in mind that we're going to be cooking for you here on Meat Magic.